Are you inside Canada as a visitor and looking to change your status? Today, we're going to discuss 3 options that you have. Number 1 is the Franco Mobility Program. To be eligible for this program, you need to speak level 5 French. You will also need a job offer. But the best part about this program is you do not need an LMI. Just with an employer job offer, in any of the NOC tiers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you can start your application. Application processing is pretty quick, and you will get a 3-year work permit. If you're married and have a family, your family will also get a 3-year open work permit. Now, let's look at the second option. This is an LMIA-based closed work permit. As the name suggests, you will need a LMIA for this work permit. The employer will do the LMIA application, and then you can do a work permit application either on border or with the online application. Now, let's look at the third option, to convert your visitor visa status to a student inside Canada. First, let's discuss the process. In order to be eligible to apply for a visitor to student inside Canada, you need to take a prerequisite program, which is generally about 4 weeks. Once you have finished your prerequisite program, we will then help you get a letter of acceptance from a Canadian DLI-approved college. We have tons of options in every province as we deal with over 120 colleges and universities across Canada. Step 3 will be doing the actual study permit application. The processing time of this application generally is about 12 to 13 weeks currently, which is about 3 to 3.5 months. Now, let's talk about proof of funds. You will need to show proof of funds covering the cost of 1 semester tuition fee, your living expenses while you study, and these funds can be shown anywhere across the world and can be also shown by a sponsor. Let's look at benefits of applying for study permit inside Canada. First of all, you do not need IELTS, CELPIP, or PTE. You also do not need a provincial attestation letter or PAL. You only can start with 1 semester fee instead of paying a full year fee, and you do not require a GIC. You also can apply for study permit without leaving Canada. Gaps are acceptable. We have gotten people approved with even 15 to 20 years of gap. Also, age is no bar. We have gotten people approved into their late 50s. If you have spouse or children, they can also extend their stay. If you have previous refusals, you can still apply. This program currently has over 90% of approval with us. So the approval rate is really high. Now that we have looked at all the benefits, let's discuss frequently asked questions which are generally asked to us by our clients. So that's a good question. Financial requirement remains the same for anybody who's applying for overseas or even applying within Canada. You need to have access to at least 1 year of tuition fee and living expenses when you're applying for a visitor to study permit. Important thing to keep in mind is if you have dependents like your spouse or children, you will need to show additional funds for their living expenses as well. No, you do not need a provincial attestation letter or PAL when you're applying for study permit inside Canada. No, you do not need IELTS or CELPIP when you're doing an application inside Canada for study permit. Prerequisite programs can range between 4 to 16 weeks depending on the program, but mostly it is 4 weeks for most students. When you're applying from inside Canada, you do not need a GIC. However, keep in mind the proof of funds do remain the same as you're applying from outside Canada. Yes, we will assist you in submitting the individual applications for your spouse or children for them to stay longer inside Canada. Keep in mind, under new regulations, if you want your spouse to get an open work permit, you should be doing a master's course. So the duration of the study permit depends on the length of the program you have chosen. For example, if you take a 1-year course, you will get a 1-year study permit. However, if you take a 2-year course, you will get a 2-year study permit. Also keep in mind, once you do a 2-year education in Canada and you finish and pass the course, you will get a 3-year open work permit, which is a postgraduate work permit. Simultaneously, if you only do a 1-year education, then you will get 1-year postgraduate work permit. No, you do not need to leave the country. Once you have submitted your study permit application, your status will change to maintained or implied status until you receive a decision of your study permit application. However, keep in mind, with over 12 years of experience, if your status is about to expire, we always recommend you to do a visitor extension application on the site. In case your file does get rejected, your status is still maintained with this application. So yes, if you would finish a 2-year program from a public college, you will get a 3-year postgraduate work permit. If you finish a 1-year program from a public college, you will receive a 1-year postgraduate work permit.